by name. I'm an ethical hacker and I'm a computer scientist. I'm the founder of iSecurity Group. I provide security to Nigerian military, work under Colonel Ahmed Zubair and Major Rimi Garba. I've also provided security to Kaduna State government in general and some company, some agency here in Nigeria and outside. So, you're trying to say something. So,
No, I'm just talking to the audience that they should try to just endure that you are not very strong. So no problem, you can go ahead.
once again, I'm Quraish. So, like I said, an ethical kind of what we're going to be doing basically today is just going to be purely, let me say it, um, a basic hacking class, not something very deep. So just a very basic hacking class. And what we're going, as we all know that this is not a practical class. So what we're going to be doing basically is just going to be purely verbally, like explaining. Though I will try my best and say more about the attacks. But like I said, this is going to be for hacking, but I'm not sure if I'm going to say much about cybersecurity. So I believe you all know what hacking is all about. It's just gaining access to a system by unauthorized. Oh, and I believe the word hacking has a very bad name currently because when you hear hacking, people do take it as a bad thing seriously. But at the end of this class, or let me say maybe we should be able to like know that hacking is as well good for some. It is very good and is something that is going to benefit everyone. At least should have an awareness of what hacking is all about and what cybersecurity, at least to protect people around you or yourself or the organization you work for. Maybe you manage network, you manage a weapon, or even your local business. You should be able to apply the security to them. So, the first thing I'm going to talk about is something called anonymity and privacy. So anonymity is just basically okay. I can see what you're doing, but you don't. I don't know who you are. There's your kind of anonymous, maybe on the site or on the network. I can see what you're doing, but I really don't know who you are. That's what anonymity is all about. And the privacy is when I know who you are, but I can't see what you're doing. Um, so we have the privacy anonymity. So for us to achieve the two, we need something called encryption and security. So also we have some other open source application that can be used to achieve all of this. We have the Tor networks. We also have the VPN, the proxy, and blah blah blah. So the next section we're going to talk about is the information gathering. Information gathering is the most important section in hacking. I repeat, information gathering is the most important section in hacking. We also call it reconnaissance or footprinting. Hello, sorry, I'm sure you guys are full. I just need someone to like say something because it's cloudy here, so I don't know if you guys can hear me still.
Yes, I can hear
All
you.
right.
I can hear you.
Yeah, I
Okay,
can hear.
thank you. All right. So, as I was saying, information gathering is the most important section in hacking, and it also refers to as reconnaissance and footprinting. Why this is important is, okay, you want to hack an organization, you want to hack a website, or you want to hack someone. You need an information about that person. You can't just dive in and say, oh, I have my laptop, you start hacking. No. Okay, for example, now I want to hack Kadri. Let's use Kadri as a victim. Sorry, Kadri.
No, no problem.
So I
So
okay.
God, you have a lot of money in account to have. You know what?
So let's say that I want to Kadri. Kadri is the victim now. Okay, what Kadri do most, or what he loves doing most? Okay, I know Kadri love playing game. Okay, what kind of game he love playing? Maybe he love playing Zuma game. Okay, I can now download maybe any, or before even I even dive into that, what kind of phone is using? Is he using iPhone? Is he using Android? Because that all you need to gather all this information, because that will benefit you during the process of attacking him. So you have an APK file that is a Zuma or any of the game. So you attach a payload to it. You send it to him, maybe through Zender, which is the normal file transfer most people are using. And at the end of this, you should know that it's not advisable transferring file on Zender or this, because you can easily transfer a malware or a Trojan, and you won't even have an idea that you've transferred a malware or a Trojan. Okay, I've already sent the game to Kadri. Kadri install on the phone, and everything worked fine. He's not going to suspect anything. Nothing is suspicious. He's playing the game, but automatically I've already gained access to his phone, his information, his email, his phone contacts, his messages, everything on his phone. That's for person, like you want to gain access to a person. Or okay, Kadri love taking pictures. Okay, I use my phone to take Kadri pictures, and later, oh Kadri, please, your pictures is with me. Let me send it to you. I send it to him through Zenda, or before I even send it to him, I've already attached some code behind the images, the photos I sent to him. And the moment he opened those pictures, he's not going to suspect anything, because nothing is going to show that he's running aside from the picture that he opened. But automatically, something is running at the background. So this is how attackers got access to people's devices. Okay, let's say I want to gain access um, to a server, or maybe a website, and that website is very too secure that I cannot break the code. There's no way I can break the code. I tried so many attacks, I was not able to have access to the site. Okay, there's something called Nmap. Nmap is called network mapping. You can use it to gather information about a website, or um, about a site or a server running, a site running on a server. Okay, I can get all the information entered during the hosting when you were registering for the site, maybe in the domain. You remember sorry, this is for the web developers. You enter your first name, your last name, your phone number, your email. All these are going to be visible, because by the time I run the attack, I'll see all the information you entered during registering the domain, and automatically, and I also see the email of the what is it called, the admin of the hosting company. Like maybe if you're using Q server, or smart maybe any of the hosting company, maybe it's the smart web, Google hosts, all these hosting company, their email, also their official email, will be displayed. So automatically I can send a message from that hosting company email. I can spoof the mail. It will look like they are sending you mail, and whereas it's the attacker, I'll spoof the mail, and the email will show that if you're going to receive it, to show that it's coming from the hosting company, and whereas I'm the one that spoofed the mail. So I can tell you that, oh, we're trying to run some upgrade, please provide us your login. We want to do some factory reset, or blah blah blah. Just try to like get access to your site, and automatically you believe, oh, this is the email of the hosting company I register for, and why not, I trust them, let me provide them my information. So these are ways where people gain access to people information through information gathering. So information gathering is a very powerful section, because you gather information about your attacker, everything you need to know about the attacker before you can start hacking, gaining access to the victim, maybe the phone, or the website, the web application, or the server. So since we still have more to discuss, let me jump to the next section, which is the network hacking. The network hacking, we already know what network is, and we have three major networks connection. We have the wired network. The wired network is just connection through cable. I believe we all know that's where you connect using the RVG cable. We also have the wireless network, and we have the captive portal. The captive portal is just the kind of network that are, let's say you go to an hotel, they provide you a network.
Yeah.
You go to a shopping mall, they provide you a network. Or you go to an airport, they provide you a network. So those kind of network are called captive portal. Can I proceed?
Yeah. Yes. Oh, good, man. Well,
Yeah, yeah, you can proceed.
Okay, please.
Shut up.
Let's
Shut
proceed.
up.
Mute.
You're
I
not
need
coming.
to mute your section, please.
I can't hear you.
I need you guys to mute.
You said?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
I said,
No,
all right.
you can talk.
Let me proceed now. I need you guys to mute, please. Okay. So we're on the network section. So for us to gain access to in networks, we have the pre-attacks and we have the post-attack. Don't worry, I'll explain each of these attacks, and because we have a lot of attacks we can run after the connection, which is the post-attack, and we have some other few attacks we can run before we gain access or trying to gain access to the network. So we have the pre-attacks, and these are an example of them is called the halt. That's using a command called airplay. So let's say there's a available, you are around maybe a building, and you see there's an available network, a Wi-Fi network. Even you, without connecting to the network, you can remove everyone on the network. You can remove everybody on the network. You can remove them from the internet. And this is a DDoS attack. So we use a command called dehalt, or sometimes we use a command called airplay. So we can use this command to remove anybody on the network, like to remove internet from their system or from their phone, even without you connecting to the network. So it's a very powerful attack also. So that's for the defaults. So while connecting to the network, also we all before you network hacking, you need something called a wireless adapter or a wireless card. So we can use a wireless card, and it's the same thing as wireless adapter. So the whole stuff, and you'll be access to the available wire around you. So without wireless on you are nowadays called alpha. Alpha, it has like an antenna, it's very powerful and it's very strong. So with that, you'll be able to change your network to something called monitor mode or manage mode, because while running a network hacking, you need a monitor mode, because you'll be able to like run the M-on. M-on is when you want to see all the available network and you see their MAC address, because each MAC address are used to identify every devices on the network. MAC address, the full meaning of MAC is just media access control. Every device is you hold. If you're using a phone, a system, even nowadays, more than like all this fridge, we have an Android fridge nowadays. We have because you can to the internet. So every devices on the network have MAC address. So the MAC address are used to identify devices on the network. So the Airmon can be used to like while you run the Airmon, you'll be able to see all the available devices, and you can just pick up any MAC address, any devices you want to like okay, because you want to crack a password of a network, you just need to like pick up a single device that is connected to the network and you run the attack. And to run the attack, we use aircrack. So sometimes, because if you want to run a network attack, you need a system, not just a CPU system. A CPU system will take a forever for it to crack a network. But especially the network has a very complex password. That's it. The Wi-Fi have a very complex password. So especially maybe if the password is around 8 and above. So it's better you use a system that have a what is it called? Not a CPU, a GPU system. A GPU system is quite nice. But like I said, cracking, and you can't just go into the cracking without the word list. The word lists are available on the GitHub or on the internet. You can just download the word list. The word list contains billions of passwords, commonly used password by people. So you download that and you can use it to crack password. And there are some routers that are very weak. It's very easy to crack the password even without the word list. So let me jump into, because time is going, let me jump into the captive porters. The captive porters, although before I jump into the captive porters, sometimes it's quite complex. Like it takes forever to crack a password of a Wi-Fi. So there is an attack called Evil Twin attack. This Evil Twin attack is kind of social engineering. It's a very powerful attack. And I just want to mention this before I go into the captive porter. After the captive porter, I'll explain the Evil Twin betterly. So the captive porter is kind of network which I've explained before. Like maybe you're in school, you're all connected to the same network, or you're in shopping mall, you have a network access, you are in a hotel, you're provided a network, or you're in airports. So all these public network is not advisable. At the end of this class, if you care about your information, if you care about your privacy, you should stop connecting to a public network. Oh, some of you say, oh, see this free Wi-Fi, you connect. Oh boy, you are giving the captive portals how the Evil Twin work. Let's say now I want to crack, there's a network infrastructure and I want to crack the password, and the password is too complex that I cannot crack the password. If I deploy the Evil Twin attack, if you're very good in Python, you should be able to create a script that you should be able to like crack the password. But there are some other scripts on GitHub that you can download. But one thing about all these GitHub or any open source program, most of them are not quite active very well. Some are dictated by antivirus. Though I explained that when we get to the malware section. So this Evil Twin, it will create the same network. Let's say there is a network called Connect Me. There's a network called Connect Me, a network infrastructure, the Wi-Fi, the network broadcast is called Connect Me. We've been trying to hack this network, and there is maybe 100 of people connected to the network. You are not able to connect, you access the network. You can deploy an Evil Twin attack. The Evil Twin attack will create the same network called Connect Me. It will create the same network called Connect Me. Anybody that is connected to the real network, which is the first Connect Me, it will not show Connect Me 1 or Connect Me 2. It will just be Connect Me. So the first one, anybody that is connected to the real network, it will de-authenticate them. It will remove all of them from the network, and it will direct them to connect to the new one created by the hacker. It's still going to show Connect Me, and you just see that your network go off for some seconds, and it will ask you to reconnect again. And you just connect and you have access to the internet again, but bro, you are already connected to the attacker network. It's just an Evil Twin attack. And when you're connected to the network, bam, everything is done. So that's the pre and the gaining access to the network. So now we have something called post connection. No, assume we are already connected to the network, and we want to deploy. We have um, different attacks we can run when we gain access to the network. Because let's assume now we've already gained access to the network. Are you all with me?
Yes, I'm with you.
To the
I'm
network.
with you. I'm with you.
Let's say we're connected to the network now. We can sniff what everybody is doing on the network. There's something called Wireshark. Wireshark is a network sniffer. A network sniffer, I'm already connected with the same network with you. Everything you're doing, what Kadri is doing on the network, I'm seeing it. The website is visiting, I'm seeing it. If what any activities you're running on the network, I'm also seeing it, and without your knowledge. So some of you that connect to the public network and you, or maybe a shopping mall, or you see a free network, let me connect to this free network. What if an attacker is on that same network? He's already what you're doing. So, but there's also some that, because not all sites can be sniffed. Not all sites can be sniffed on the network, because like all these Microsoft, even if a site is running on HTTPS, you can still sniff that. But there are some sites that run on TLS, a site like Facebook, Twitter, they have some. So it's an HTTP downgrade. You need to downgrade the HTTP so that you can read everything. Okay, let's say Card will log into the Facebook. He enter his username, his password. Everything is going to be visible to me. I have access to his username and password. So this is a network. Yes, a network sniffer. And an example of that is called Wireshark. Please let me know if you guys are following, because it's raining here.
Right on, sir. I will do.
Yes, I'm following.
Yeah.
Okay, so I've explained what a network sniffer is. The network sniffer, you need to run something called an attack called man-made ITM attack. The man-in-the-middle attack, when you're in the man-in-the-middle attack, how the man-in-the-middle attack work, or before I explain what man-in-the-middle attack work, let's say let me just explain how communication work over the network. Let's say, Kadri, you have your phone. You are using MTN to browse. Okay, you pick up your phone or your system. You search for Facebook. As you're searching for Facebook, it goes to your IS run very fast. High network internet provider. That's your MTN, Airtel, Smile, anything. So when you type facebook.com, it first goes to your ISP. Now the ISP is your public IP, because the IP you're using on your phone, on your system, is just a sub IP. It's not a public IP. So it's your router that can give you a public IP. So if you're using a Smile or if you're using an MTN, they have the public IP and they only have one IP and public IP. So it sends your information to MTN or Glo. So they will now send the information to Facebook server. So any site you're going to, so Facebook will now say, oh, who is searching for this information? And the way information are being recognized over the network is using IP and MAC address, not a website name. I'll still mention something called DNS in the future. So if you type facebook.com, Facebook server doesn't recognize anything like facebook.com. The only thing facebook.com recognizes is IP. It's the same thing to every web application, every server on the site. They only recognize IP. They don't recognize www.facebook.com, any site name. They don't recognize any domain name. What they recognize is IP. So everything has to be resolved into an IP by DNS. So DNS resolve domain to an IP. So the IP will now be recognized from Facebook that, oh, I received a communication, a request from MTN server that they want to have access to Facebook. So Facebook will now send a response to MTN. So MTN will now check which of the sub IP is requesting for this information. So that information will now be transferred to your phone or to your connection. So this is how communication works over the network. It's being received through IP and MAC address. That's how communication works. So the man in the middle attack, when you are in the man in the middle attack, that's the attacker. What Kadri is doing, I'm seeing it. What everybody is doing, I'm seeing it. And how is it possible? When Kadri send any request, like maybe he's trying to log on to Facebook or anything, the information will be sent to me first before sending to the main server. So when he's trying to request for any information, the way man in the middle attack work is there's something called clients and slave. Like you can enslave in like maybe you can tell the Kadri IP that I am the server. That is, if you are requesting for an information, it goes to the server. Okay, send the information to me, I'm the server. It will now send the information to me. Then I will send the information back out. After I send the information to the public, maybe to receive the information will now be redirected to Kadri, where everything has to pass through me. That's how man in the middle attack work. And the man in the middle attack, one of the best attack in man in the middle attack, we call it ARP poison. The ARP poison is one of the best attack in man in the middle attack. It's very effective. ARP poison. So it's a man in the middle attack. So when you're already in the man in the middle attack, you can now run the packet sniffer. So that is, you'll be able to sniff what everybody is doing, see their username, their password, where the site they are visiting, where they are going to, everything about them. So that's for man in the middle attack, network sniffer, which is Wireshark. So I also mentioned something called DNS spoofer. DNS spoofer is just the same thing I've explained. It's just an application that change your domain to an IP. Because like I say, server doesn't recognize your domain. What they recognize is IP. So maybe you're visiting Facebook, you type facebook.com. Yes, you have the response. You see the response, www.facebook.com, and it will give you facebook.com. But DNS resolve it into an IP for it to be able to have a response to you. So that we now have some attack called DNS spoofer. You can spoof DNS. That is, okay, when Kadri send an information like, okay, you want to visit facebook.com, it has already been resolved to an IP. I can modify the IP because I'm already man in the middle attack. That's okay, Kadri, I can redirect Kadri to another site. That's why sometimes, if I don't know if anybody have noticed, you're visiting a site and it will take you to another site. Those are DNS spoofer. So they take you to another site because they've already spoofed your IP. So that's what DNS spoofer is all about. File interceptor is I can, while we're on the same network with you, and you send, maybe Kadri is trying to upload image or is trying to upload its Facebook picture. That's what file interceptor is all about. We also have code interceptor. Code interceptor is, if you're good in, maybe it depends on the kind of technology used for designing the site. If it is Java, if it is PHP, HTML, Node.js, if you're good in all this, or JavaScript, you can modify any of the code and inject some other code. So that's what code injector is, or code injector is all about. So and that's the brief explanation on network hacking. So let me just jump quickly because time is already running. This is 3:40 here. So let me just explain what malware is all about. Malware is just I'm sure is something called Trojan. Trojan, like something you really don't have idea of. Like for example, okay, let's say you go to Play Store, you type Gmail. You type GT Bank. You type GT Bank. and you see a lot of GT banks, and just only one that is an official GT bank. So others, where are they coming from? So those are the kind of malware. They will function like a real app or a real file, but whereas they are not what you think. Like they're not exactly what you think they are. Seriously. So that's what Trojan is all about. Malware is one of my best sections, which I love working on, especially when it comes to keyloggers and backdoors. So keyloggers is just okay. I've been trying to hack Kadri Facebook or his bank account or his email, and I've not been able to run that all this while because I've tried so many methods and I've not been able to do that. You can develop a keylogger. A keylogger it's how it works to record a key strike. A keylogger record a key strike. Please, are you guys following?
Yes, but I don't get that concept. Well, please, can you just explain keylogger so we get it
Okay. I just want to be sure because calls have been coming in and I've been rejecting this call, and I'm sure this. Yeah, I'm sorry. It's raining here, and calls have been coming in, so that's why I've been rejecting those calls. So I'm sure those calls have been temporary with the connection. So as I was saying, keylogger are just key strike. Like okay, it record every key strike, maybe on your phone or on your system. Like Kadri, okay, your system. I've been trying to gain some information on maybe to hack your Gmail or your Facebook or anything. I want to see what you're doing on your system. I can send a keylogger to you, and that keylogger will be sending me every information you do every five minutes, depending on how I program the keyloggers. And if you're very good in Python, you can create a keylogger as simple. Within 10 or 5 minutes, you'll be able to program a keylogger. So that keylogger will always send you everything Kadri is doing. Everything is doing. Anything he enter from the keyboard will be sent to me. Everything he does will be sent to me. So that's what a keylogger is. We have the backdoors. Backdoors is just is a very powerful payloader that you send to a victim, and it give you. You remember the keylogger only give you the key strike, but the backdoor give you access to the system completely. It give you access to the system completely. It give you access to the phone completely, regardless of the OS. If you're using Android, Windows, Linux, Mac, everything. So if you're very good in program like Python, you can design a single code and you compile it into different OS, maybe Linux, maybe that's why information gathering is very important. I want to hack Kadri. You want to hack a system. You need to know what OS the system is running. Is it running on Windows? Is it running on Mac? Is it running on Linux? All will help you to develop a payload now, because you can't use the payload you use for Windows to run on Mac OS or on Linux. So information gathering is very, very important. This will help you to gather information about your target. You will know what kind of system is using, what kind of OS the system is running on, what kind of application the system is running on. So this will allow you to run the keylogger or the payload or the backdoors for the victim. So, and if you're using a Python is a versatile language that you just run a single code and you compile it into Windows, Linux, Android, any form of OS. So Python is very powerful, and also you can also use C++ if you're very good in C++ or C#. So the backdoors and the backdoors give you access to every information on the system. And if you're running a backdoor, you need to like find a way to like spoof your what is it called, your victim, because now I'm talking about the delivering. What I mean by delivering is, okay, I've already programmed the tool that I want to use it to hack this also person. Okay, how do you deliver it to? Okay, I can't just send a program to Kadri to run. It makes no sense. Okay, Kadri, run this program in your system. It makes no sense. It's kind of suspicious. Why will I run a program? Okay, but what if there is this PDF file, or maybe Kadri is a coder, is a software engineer. Okay, there is this book. Kadri, I bought this book from Amazon. Is a PDF file. I've already, and from my end, I've attached all the necessary code to it, and I just send it to him. Maybe and let's say you run that PDF on his system, it's going to display the book, every content on the PDF file. It's not going to show anything aside from the PDF file, but I've gained access to his system. I've gained full access to the system. So because you can't just send keylogger or backdoor to someone that run this thing, it makes no sense. So you have to spoof it to make it look, to do some social engineering to like convince him that, oh, this is okay, Kadri, I have your picture, all this that we took for all these years. Let me send it to you through Zenda, or let me do this thing, or I have this application. You love playing game. Let me send it to you. I've already attached so many things to this program, and the moment Kadri run it on his phone or on his system, bam, I have access to his system or to the phone.
Hello, sir.
So, sorry, I might not be able to answer any question for now. Let me just proceed because, like I said, I'm not quite strong. Seriously, I got discharged yesterday from the hospital. I never knew I would even be able to, but because I've made promise, I'll be available today. So please, I'll try and answer a few questions after let me just finish up because it's raining, but I'm sweating as I am right now because I'm not really okay. So please, let me just rush and finish up this as quick as possible. So that's for malware and keylogger. Like I said, I won't be able to explain deep into all this. As we all know, it's not a practical class, but I tried my best to explain each one of these attacks like we're running it practically. So what I will talk about next is the website hacking. The website hacking, we have different ways to hack a website. We can use SQL injection. We can use cross-site scripting. The cross-site scripting is if you're quite good in JavaScript, PHP, HTML, you should be able to run cross-site scripting. Though we have different method in cross-site scripting. We have the blind. We have different format. Why the SQL? If you're good in query and structured query language, you should be able to, like any database language, should be able to run SQL injection. So, but sometimes some of these attacks are not quite active. That's why, like everything I've mentioned in all this section, if you go to GitHub, like I think last time I saw a week back, I saw Kadri posted a video that, okay, if you want to hack maybe a website or something like that, a GitHub link or some, Kadri, am I right?
You said?
I think there was a day you posted a video, maybe a few days back, that's how you can, some script on the GitHub, right?
Yes.
All right, now listen, guys. If you really want to be a very good hacker or good security guy, you can never depend on people's tools. Most of all these tools doesn't work. Some of them are not quite active. Some work seriously, but some of them get detected by antivirus, especially if you're trying to hack a system. Now, let me explain how antivirus work. Antivirus, in general, they have a very huge database. This database has all the list of viruses. Every virus, even the one that comes out today, they update their database. So every tools you see on GitHub that, okay, unless if some of these tools are quite updated, sorry guys, if these tools are quite updated, because you see, you run most of those tools, you run them and they'll get detected by antivirus because they are already listed on the database of each of antivirus. There's something called VirusTotal. VirusTotal is a platform where if you upload any file, it will tell you if the file contains virus and which antivirus detects as virus. It will list all antiviruses And we not all antivirus will dictate it as virus. Why some will dictate, some will not dictate. So it has all those virus total. So that's why it's not advisable if you program a backdoor or a file and you upload it on virus total, it will send it to all antivirus company that list this because this is a new program created. So anybody that try to run it, your defender, your window defender or antivirus will dictate that this is a virus because it has already been sent to them. So if you create a program, never send it to or try to upload it on open source because all these things have already been captured by antivirus company. And the way it works, it's sometimes your file might not even contain a virus, but if there is any code that maybe any code in your program that is related to anything on their database, it will flag it as virus. Not all antivirus, not all program dictated by antivirus are virus. Not all program dictated by antivirus are malwares. Not all of them. But if the program contain anything or any code that is related to any program in their database, it will flag it as virus. So that's how antivirus dictate all these things. So to be a very good security guy, a very good hacker, you should be able to create your own tools. If you create your own tools, no antivirus will detect it because you create it by yourself. But by the time you download something from GitHub, yes, there is thousands of them on GitHub, hacking tools, but only few are still active. Even those that are still active, they are not up to date. It won't work. So you should learn how to like create tools by yourself. So guys, I'm running out of break. So please, if you have any question, please just drop it before I go off.
Yeah.
You said we can hear you.
Kadri, please drop that mic. Drop that mic, I said. Drop that mic.
Okay, okay.
Now I said, please, if anybody have a question, please ask. I'm running out of bread. I can't move on anymore.
Sir, can I proceed? For now, I don't think there should be more. But the best is maybe you can drop a form of contact and get reach to be in contact, like communicate from time.
Sorry, I can't hear you. I can't hear you.
Like a form of contact.
Okay, I'll do that.
Okay.
Okay, it depends because now if you're using your real network, like you're not connected to the Wi-Fi, maybe if I get you right, like maybe if you're using your normal network and you're not using a public network, and of course, if your browser is being hijacked, or because now listen, there are some sites that are actually very dangerous. There are some sites if you visit, bro, you are on your own. If you visit those sites and you mistakenly click on something, your browser can be hijacked. Your browser can be hijacked, and they can easily monitor everything you're doing through that browser. So your browser can still be hijacked because, like some site that run, especially you see, if you want to be in a safer place, you care about your security or your privacy, you can deactivate JavaScript on your browser. JavaScript is very powerful. You can use it to like hijack someone through browser. It's a very powerful tool. You can deactivate JavaScript on your browser, but sometimes if you deactivate JavaScript, if you deactivate JavaScript on your browser, some application, some pages, and some pictures, some link, and some pictures, some colors, in terms of some stuff might not display, but the text, why some site will not even display, because some site will tell you that you need JavaScript before you can before you can visit this site. But if your JavaScript is disabled, you are still in a safer place. So JavaScript, because sometimes if you're browsing, you see some pop-up will be coming up that it will tell you click on this that Amazon is doing 35 years and this, and eBay is celebrating, MTN is doing 50 years. All those things are scam. By the time you check those sites or you click, just check the URL, the HTTP. Even if they are running on HTTPS, check the address. If there's any information that is public, that MTN want to be public, MTN will put it on their official site. They will never put it on the subdomain link or any link that's a random link that is some rough link like that is not quite genuine. And most of you guys doesn't even care about your URL. You will not check your URL that is maybe www. You won't even check. You will just continue, because nobody will tell you that, okay, there is a promo or MTN celebrating something, that do this and share it to different group before you can win. Nobody, no MTN or nobody from MTN or Amazon or eBay will tell you to do that. Or that and they are sharing one and Corona money, that run this and share it to different group. All are scams. They are scam. And a lot of people, thousands of people were scammed during the Corona time. A lot of money were withdrawn from their account. Some were hijacked, some devices were hijacked. And sorry, I forgot to mention this, called ransomware. This is one of my best too, especially when I was still running as a bad guy. Because I have to confess, I did bad thing also in the past, but there was a reason for me doing that. And what I use most is the ransomware. How ransomware work? Ransomware.
Well, can you teach me the bad type of what you did?
Ransomware is the way ransomware work is it work exactly like a kidnapper. That's, you kidnap someone and you ask for money before you can release that person. That's how ransomware work. Okay, the ransomware. There was a time Kaduna State Traffic and Enter around 2016, because when El-Rufai came into government, there was a time I did some work for the state and I wasn't getting any paid, and they were just like using monkey the work back on the shop. And I was just very annoyed, which I ran some things on their system. More than 15 systems were down for more than 6 months. How ransomware work? It will encrypt every information on the system, and it will ask you to pay before you can have access to your information on your system. It will encrypt your file, everything, your pictures, your document, and it will ask you to pay. And it uses a very strong encryption, asymmetric encryption. It will ask you to pay. And the payment is not in bank, because if you put bank, you will get caught quickly. You will just go prison. So nothing like bank, it's crypto payments. So because even though some security experts are very good, they still track crypto address, even though it's kind of anonymous, but they still find a way to track it down. But there's a crypto coin called Monero. Monero is the best coin in terms of security. It is anonymous. Nobody can track Monero. If you receive money on Monero, nobody can track it. Not a US government, not even the Navy government. Nobody can track Monero. So the way I run the attack, all their system, it display that their system their file is being encrypted, that before they can have access to the system, they will have to pay $50 per system. And I run it on about 14 systems. So if you care about the information on your system, you have no choice than to pay. But if you really don't care about it, you can format the system. But if you are a big organization and you care about your information, you will pay, because it's not something that even if you format, you can recover. You cannot recover those files because they are encrypted already. So the highest you can do is to format the system and start again from the start. But just imagine some of this information that you've gotten for many years, or that has to do with government that you don't want to lose. So you have no choice than to pay. So this, I think, this is one of the the worst day, like the bad times that I know I've spent in hacking, which I really don't want to go back, and I will never go back in time again because now I'm a security guy and I really don't do anything bad again. So I think I've answered the question on the browser hijacking. So if you have any question, please ask again. Don't have any material. All this thing from that's why I prefer running here everything. How ransomware work? It will encrypt every information on the system, and it will ask you to pay before you can have access to your information on your system. It will encrypt your file, everything, your pictures, your document, and it will ask you to pay. And it uses a very strong encryption, asymmetric encryption. It will ask you to pay. And the payment is not in bank because if you put bank, or guy, you will get caught quickly. You will just go prison. So nothing like bank. It's crypto payments. So because even though some security experts are still are very good. They still track crypto address, even though it's kind of anonymous, but they still find a way to track it down. But there's a crypto coin called Monero. Monero is the best coin in terms of security. It is anonymous. Nobody can track Monero. If you receive money on Monero, nobody can track it. Not a US government, not even the Navy government. Nobody can track Monero. So the way I run the attack, all their system, it display that their file is being encrypted, that before they can have access to the system, they will have to pay $50 per system. And I run it on about 14 systems. So if you care about the information in your system, you have no choice than to pay. But if you don't care about it, you can format the system. But if you are a big organization and you care about your information, you will pay because it's not something that even if you format, you can recover. You cannot recover those files because they are encrypted already. So the highest you can do is to format the system and start again from the start. But just imagine some of this information that you've gotten for many years or that has to do with government that you don't want to lose. So you have no choice than to pay. So this, I think, this is one of the worst day, like the bad times that I know I've spent in hacking, which I really don't want to go back, and I will never go back in time again because now I'm a security guy and I really don't do anything bad again. So I think I've answered the question on the browser hijacking. So if you have any question, please ask again. In practice, I'm sorry, for more than 6 months. how ransomware work. Okay, the ransomware. There was a time. Kaduna State Traffic and Enter.